Alright guys, so usually the big gift races are in rural parts of Australia. So we're heading to Canberra, which is our nation's capital for our international listeners and viewers. And it's a town just outside of Canberra called Queanbeyan. So I think the reason these gifts started in these rural towns was sort of to attract people from out of town, coming to the town for maybe a festival, a carnival if you're American. It's generally around like a fete or a fair or something like that, and the gift racing is one aspect of it. Okay, so the main gift in Australia, I guess the pinnacle of our season, which I haven't done, but I've watched since I was a kid, originated in 1878, and it's called the stall gift. So all the gifts are just named after the town that they're held in, and stall, it's only missed 4 years since 1878, which was over World War II. So it's a pretty big prize purse, $40,000 for the winner, tax-free, so $40,000 Australian, which is quite a lot of money. And usually the main gifts, they will be run over 120 metres, sometimes more, sometimes less, and there'll be quite a decent prize pool, usually a couple of $1,000s. New South Wales doesn't have as rich a purse as like Queensland, Tasmania, and also Melbourne, but you can still earn quite a bit of money. For example, the one I'm heading to race in tomorrow, so today's Friday, we're heading out. The prize for first prize I think is $4,000, so not too bad for a hobby. Alright, after a nice long drive, we finally made it to Canberra. That main road into Canberra can be a real shit fight. Where are we staying?
I don't know. How?
I think we're staying at the Currajong Hotel. Boutique hotel, not bad. Nice fixtures. Nice setup. You can see, nice setup. Bit of a feed. Now off to race day. Alright guys, it's morning here in Canberra, it's Saturday, and we're just about to head to the Oval to get started and race. Alright guys, it's a moderately warm morning here in Canberra, which is weird because it's December. Just waiting for Jason and his girlfriend to head out. Then we're going to head over to the racetrack. Beck's bringing my car over, which makes me extremely nervous. Guys will know this feeling when your girlfriend has to take your car and you just get a bit nervous. Please come back scratch free. Alright guys, so this is what, if you're going to race gift racing, you'll have similar stuff, so I guess racing on track, but it's grass, so pretty standard shit, blocks, grass pegs, and then the only thing that's different is you have spikes. They have slightly longer spikes. So Nike released its new pair last year, or the Olympians wore, but it didn't have interchangeable spikes. This year they've updated that, so a lot of guys racing those. I like these Asics. I do have those other ones, but I leave them for when I race on track. Here he is, my training partner. And look at Jason Smarts. Look at him, ready to go. It's en route now. I just picked up our coffee. Write in the comments section if you know what a Freddo no milk is. Do you know what a Freddo no milk is?
I do now. Definitely do now.
Yeah.
Cars, you know?
Yeah, now I know.
It's a Greek origin coffee apparently. So my barista tells me. It makes me look like an idiot every time I go and order it. So we're en route to Queanbeyan Park.
It took us 20 minutes to find a coffee place.
Yeah, 20 minutes. My directions aren't good either. Jace, what are your morning rituals before race?
I always have breakfast nice and early. Make sure it's not stuck in my stomach. Straight to do a number 2 in the bathroom. Followed by a shower. It's always important, so you don't reek up around the race. Then it's a coffee, which we have. That's why I had to have it now, so I can drink it on the way to the race. Then I do normally take some beta-alanine just before the 70-metre races and before our warm-up, and then it's game on.
That's interesting, guys, the beta-alanine. Some guys do a lot of that, but Jason and I both come from a personal training background, so I guess we're more inclined to do that sort of stuff, whereas a lot of the other guys in our squad who just run track and they have other jobs that aren't sport-related, I don't think they would really go out of their way to have anything like that. What do you reckon?
I don't think they would need to.
I find I just have coffee. That's the only really stimulant or supplement I have. Alright guys, we'll check in with you when we're at the track. Okay guys, so what you can see me doing here is just my last block warm-up before I go into the race. We usually do our regular drills, as you would, I assume, if you compete in track elsewhere in the world. Just do your normal track warm-up at the start of the day, and then we sort of do a few drills, a few block hit-outs, a few stride-throughs before events throughout the rest of the day as it goes on. So as you can see here, we're all in different coloured bibs or jerseys, whatever you want to call them. So red and blue in New South Wales are the quicker ones, so they're the guys, the back markers we call them, and then yellow, green and pink are generally the front markers, as you can see above the finishing line there. So this is our 70-metre heats. Unfortunately, myself or Jason, so who you saw in the video earlier, neither of us made it through to the semi-finals. Just did not run well at all. And then we move on to the 120, the main gift. So in the 70 meters and the 300, usually they'll be mixed sex, so unisex, but in the main gift races where there's the big money, there'll always be men's and women's. So here's Jason running in black here, runs quite nicely. He made it through to the semi-finals on time, so he was one of the quickest losers, I guess, so he made it to the semi-finals. I'm here in yellow, and unfortunately I was the quickest loser, so I missed out by 0.15, I think, on making the final. My start just wasn't as good. I'm still relatively new to this, so is Jason, so we're still picking up the ropes. That's why I thought it'd be interesting to do this breakdown for you guys and start our Hyperformance channel. So yeah, the guy in black and the majority of the guys, they jump me right off the start, and then I can sort of hang with them, so I just really need to work on that transition from drive to fly. So the guys in red generally are the back markers, and pink, green, and yellow, sorry, usually the front markers. So in the gifts where there is a lot of money, like this one in Queanbeyan, there was 4,000, I think 3,500 on the win, sorry. There is a handicap limit. So the handicap limit was 16 meters, meaning that you ran off 16, like I did, you only had to run 104 meters. And I think the furthest back marker ran off 1.75 meters. So he had to run 118.25 meters. So generally speaking, the handicappers will aim to make sure everyone has a handicap so they can cross the line in between 12 and 12.5 seconds, depending on the surface. So guys, like I said earlier, the main gift races are over 70 meters, 120 meters, and 300. Sometimes there is a mile race, and sometimes there might be a 400 race or 100 race, just depending on the meet. But the main ones are 70 meters, 120 meters, and 300 meters. Alright guys, update throughout the day. Pretty shit start to the day. Jason and I both missed out on the 70. He made it through in the main gift final. I did not. And then we just ran the 300. I made the final, and then he's got the skins after that, which I'll explain what that is later. I've also got the skins. How's that 300 feel, Jace?
Absolutely horrendous. Never feel my glutes and hamstrings hurt so much than after a 300.
So the 300's the last race that I just played then. So it can be tricky when you've got to run around the bend and there's people in your way. Don't recommend doing one.
It's like human horse racing.
It is like human horse racing, and in Melbourne, in Victoria, you can bet on it. Alright guys, so here is the start of my 300 meter final. I'm in white at the back here, and there are two guys just behind me. So at the moment, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to overtake these guys that started just ahead of me to get in front of them before the last and first bend, because that bend coming home is very sharp. So I knew I had to get as far out ahead of them as I could. Unfortunately, I went out too hard, and as you can see, I have to take the wide angle here to pass green, and then I just can't. The kid behind me has an amazing kick. Then the back markers, the guys that started behind me, come through, and I just fail hard. So that's why the 300 meter is tricky coming around that bend.
How do you feel after that, Oscar?
Not as bad as the first one. Worst when I finished.
Where's you living?
Yeah, I do. Didn't get one, just got cash.
What place did you get?
7th.
7?
Yeah.
Have you won back the prize money yet?
I will. After the next race.
Right guys, so this is the main gift race final for the day. So there's quite a bit of money here on the win, quite a bit at stake, so nerves are high. So the guy in red, he's running off I think 7.75. So generally speaking, if you were to run the full 120 meters, you'd be running off scratch. So you'd be running, your handicap, would be 0 meters. So generally speaking, if you're running off scratch or 0, you're a 10 flat runner. And then obviously you progress up. Say if you're running off 10 meters, you'd probably be around an 11 flat runner. I'm speaking about 100 meters here. And then for the handicap limit for this gift was 16 meters. So if you're running off 16, you should be able to run 11.6, and that's to be competitive and to win. So my personal best is around probably 11.5. So unfortunately, I just did not run up to scratch today. A kid called Michael Henner won that. I think he's only 17 or 18. Really quick runner. I think he runs in the high 10s, over 100, and he had a pretty good mark. So he ran off 7.75 meters, and I think he ran that final in 12.10 seconds. So he ran over 110 meters in 12.10 seconds on grass, fully automatic timing. So now guys, what you're watching is they'll usually have this at the end of the big meets now. So you run off 70 meters, including your handicap. You have 2 minutes break in between each run. You keep rerunning. A runner drops off at the end of every single race. So whoever finishes last, you walk back, have 2 minutes rest, then you go again until there's the final 2. So I'm in green here and I'm dressed like a Christmas tree. Unfortunately, I get knocked out here, so I came 4th. It was very close between myself and the red. I thought I got him, but obviously I was a few lanes across from him, and I can't lie with the fully automatic timing system and the camera. So Jace, good news is he goes through. He's here in black. He makes it through this round, spoiler alert, but unfortunately the guy in the yellow, I think he was a 400 runner, and he just had that ability to handle the lactic, and he does not drop his pace at all. As you can see, Jace won the first few but then this guy starts to pull ahead. Derek was his name. He actually sat next to us. He was a good bloke. So guys, that's gift racing pretty much wrapped up there. It's a good bit of fun. A guy like me who's never going to be quick enough to run at the Olympics or anything like that can enjoy this, get reasonably quick. I hope to post more on this stuff down the track, but stay tuned because we're going to have a lot of athletes on, a lot of coaches, and also check out our podcast, links in bio. The most important thing about gift racing in Australia is that when you finish a long, hard day on the track or on the grass, you crack open a nice cold beer. And the best cold beer? Bent Spoke, Barley Griffin. Yeah.